Today, I am putting 30 tricks into a tier list. This is 100% based on how much I like doing the tricks. It's not based on how good I am at them, and it's definitely not based on what I think of the trick in general, like when other people do it. So no judgment on the tricks themselves. It's just purely what I like and don't like doing on a skateboard. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss a video from us. Let's do it. We have to start with the greatest trick of all time, the most important thing ever done on a skateboard, Ollies. Well, Ollies wouldn't be what they are today if they weren't incredibly fun to do. It's a completely reasonable goal to have when you start skating, to want to learn Ollies like right away and to get great at them so you can ollie up things and down things and over rails and onto ledges. But one of the beautiful things is actually doing Ollies is quite meditative. There are 1,000 different kinds. You can just scrape your tail around, float through the skate park, and they're incredibly, incredibly useful. There is life before you do an ollie, and then there's life after. And for all those reasons put together and how fun they are to do, this one is a solid S tier trick. And for my next trick, we'll do some shoves. I have a problem. I mean, every time I get on the board, it's shove, 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 shove. I can't stop. I'm gonna need help. It's one of my favorite things to do in the entire world. Whenever I'm testing out trucks, wheels, the ground, if I'm testing anything about a skateboard, if the ground is a little bit rough and sticky, it's like, all right, let's see how I can do a shove on it. It is not only fun and like a trick in itself, it's so useful. You can progress so much just by practicing spinning your board around, landing on it in different ways. It is truly, truly a beautiful trick. And they're so low energy and low effort that early in the session, I can show up to the skate park and just blast them off. Shoves are as close you can get to a perfect trick. S tier. Let's move to pop shove-its. When I'm doing a pop shove-it, this starts to depend more on the ground than the regular shove-its where I'm not hitting the tail. So what I mean by that is if the ground is rough, the board is more likely to roll over. And all the benefits, like being able to land 1 foot, becomes a lot more difficult as I start hitting the tail on the ground. So it takes a lot more focus, a lot more discipline in my foot position. When I'm doing a pop shove it, I have to make sure that everything is set up right, because there is this risk that it's gonna overspin or roll over. So there's a little bit more stress involved in pop shove it. So with all that taken into account, I'm gonna knock it down a few rankings to C tier. They're just a little bit stressful. You knew it was coming. You knew we were gonna cover kickflips. Okay, I do have an opinion on kickflips that I just want to get out of the way now. I feel like they're a completely overly prioritized trick. Every beginner gets on a skateboard and wants to learn kickflips, which I understand. I fell into the same trap that you all did. Pretty much everybody does. But what you don't know when you first start is kickflips are an expert level trick. They're incredibly difficult and they're so hard to master. Getting on a skateboard and trying to kickflip down a stair set before you really have elite level board control is like picking up a pencil, drawing a few shaded circles, and then like trying to draw portraits. It just doesn't make any sense. But we all fall into the trap. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure surrounding kickflips. Even after skating for 25 years, my kickflips vary a lot depending on day to day. And I have to remind myself like, oh, yeah, to do good, solid kickflips, you gotta be current on your skateboard. You gotta be in shape. You gotta have warmed up legs. You gotta have confidence in your landings. They're just hard to master. They're just hard. With that being said, it's still a great skateboard trick, so I'm not gonna give it too much of a punishment for being difficult. A tier. Let's talk about Tre Flips. I'm gonna be honest with you. My Tre Flips are not that good. I land in nollie heel flip consistently. The problem is, I don't feel this huge desire to wake up and go just like work on my Tre Flips every day. Like, I think they're fun and they're cool and I do like doing them, but the goal to reach the perfect Tre Flip has never been that motivating for me. When I see pro street skaters do a Tre Flip, they are so good at it. I mean, it's like, they got straight legs, they can throw it out in front of them, they can catch it however they want. It doesn't matter, up a 3-stair, down a 16, into crooked grinds. Like, when did we all perfect Tre Flips? Is there like a secret society where everyone gets up at 5 a.m. and does their 500 Tre Flips before breakfast and then goes to the park and it's just like the easiest thing in the world? And also, I do think they're slightly overdone in the video parts. It's like, if you have a flat ground line, like you do like a front Smith on a ledge, Tre Flip, and then like the banger of the line. And I think we can keep Tre Flips to the really important ones, but let's keep it to like 1 or 2 per video part. Like, we don't need a Tre Flip in every single line, all right? With that being said, greatest flip trick of all time, without a doubt, solid S tier trick. Frontside flips. When I used to do them this way, was an F tier. But now that I can do them like this, S tier. Hard flips. Honestly, my technique is not great and they take a ton of energy and I consistently hurt my hip when I'm trying them. F tier. I'm gonna tell you what I think happened with Varial Flips. We spent years grinding for kickflips. We wanted it so bad. Hours and hours on our board in the garage, out in the front yard, in the street, trying to get that board to flip over. And then one day, one glorious day, you do a kickflip. And then like 3 tries later, you land a Varial Flip. Or some people even land Varial Flips like before the kickflip. And honestly, like, it didn't look great. It was a little rocketed. Maybe the feet land close together. Then we get that Varial Flip imprinted in our minds that that's what they look like. Fast forward 10 years and you never changed your perspective. Honestly, if you do a popped Varial Flip that is flat and you can catch it in the air and land smooth, it's like gruesomely underrated. Varial Flips are cool. There is no doubt about that. They're fun to do, they feel great, and I just feel like on most people's tier list, they would sit in that D to F tier trick because of that beginner intermediate style Varial Flip that most people learn at first. With that being said, it's not quite at the level of like sick Tre Flips or frontside flips, but it is a solid, not to be forgotten about B tier trick. Let's have a look at Fakie Bigspins. Honestly, they're super fun. And for the advanced skaters, they're not much harder than regular Shuvits. You just gotta get moving fakie and get about halfway, and then you put your weight on your back foot and they just swing around. Like, if you want to hit your tail, if not, totally cool by me. The only thing that really matters is if you're playing a game of skate, someone does a Fakie Bigspin where they hit their tail. They set the trick and they hit their tail. If you're following them and you're trying to land the trick, you better hit your tail. That's all I'm gonna say. Otherwise, I have no complaints. It's also a wonderful trick if you're a new skater. It's a great goal to have, to learn Fakie Bigspins, because you have to have good Shuvits. You have to have nice rotation. You gotta be able to put a couple of skills together to make it work. Fakie Bigspins, absolutely solid trick. I don't do them a whole lot, but I still love them. I'm gonna put this at C tier. When you're looking at Fakie flips, they're honestly sometimes easier than regular kickflips. With the way you're moving Fakie and you can push on the tail, you can get a lot of power in the flick just because you're moving backwards a little bit. I think it's because when you're riding Fakie, it's just so easy to shoot the tail backwards that creates a lot of power in the flick. So sometimes they flip faster and a little bit more consistently than regular kickflips. And they feel especially nice if you accidentally turn them a little bit and then you save it with that kind of like nice flowy style on smooth ground. It gets the exact same rating as a regular straight kickflip. A tier, baby. Switch frontside flip. Switch frontside flips are a funny one because I constantly try them in the vert ramp flat bottom between runs or while I'm coaching. I have no idea why. That's the trick I always try. And that's like pretty much exclusively the spot that I try them. And I also pretty much never land it. But they're super fun, S tier trick. Oh, this next trick we have on our list is such a great one. Half cab flips. To me, half cab flips are the most important trick in a game of skate. And that's because it's gonna go down. One of you guys is gonna do a half cab flip at some point. And you just don't want a letter on it. If someone gets me on a half cab flip, I swear I think about it for days. And if it's my set and I fall on a half cab flip, it's like, oh, what a wasted opportunity. Because they're not that much harder than regular kickflips after you have good kickflips and Fakie flips. It's a small step up in difficulty. But getting them consistent requires a lot of feel and touch, and I'll call it a reactive ability, where you can be at that halfway point and save them and land a bunch of different, land it from a bunch of different positions. Where we have it on our list is the strongest B tier trick that we'll see today. The reason that it sits just below kickflip and Fakie flip is that lack of consistency is a little bit frustrating. I don't have the same confidence showing up to the skate park that I can just start ripping half cab flips as soon as I do a kickflip. But like I said, with the game of skate situation, it's never one that you want to completely abandon because it's gonna be done and you're gonna need to pull it out of your pocket at one point. Full cabs, caballerials. I mean, look at them. Look at them. I've been doing this trick my whole life. I've loved it since I was just a little pint-sized little skater. S tier. Let's do front 180s. I'm gonna be honest, front side was never my strong suit, especially when I was younger. I was growing up, I had a complete aversion to frontside. I didn't understand it. Still, to this day, my frontside airs and my frontside grinds are much weaker than everything I do backside. But front 180s are very fun once you learn how to pick them up and rotate them in the air. but that took me a long, long time to learn. So we're gonna put this on the list right in the middle at this C tier. So front 180s have felt, front 180s can be awkward for me, but I'm sure a lot of tricks are feeling awkward for you right now. If you want to progress, make sure you click the link in the description and check out our online community. Right now, you can join and check it out absolutely free. Okay, back to the tier list. Now, let's hit some back 180s. The classic turnaround trick for me. They're so easy. They're so crispy. That feeling when your back wheels start sliding to finish the rotation and you can just like not look where you're going and let your wheels roll out backwards. You can look back, do some finger guns at the camera. A really strong B tier trick for me. They have a soft spot in my heart. I learned them when I was very young. All these backside rotation tricks just pretty much remind me of growing up riding my skateboard. Next on the tier list, rail stands. I'm new to freestyle and I just learned rail stands. It's fun and exciting and still quite difficult for me. I would say I do have some genuine complaints about them though. Board setup is number one. You need a very specific setup so rail stands feel comfortable. I have different boards. I have this hydrant board that I built with Andy Anderson to learn some freestyle tricks. I tend to like it for flat ground as well. I have my vert board with different trucks and bushings in a different width, and it just doesn't work for rail stands. I find that frustrating that regular skaters can't just go to a skate shop, throw a board together, and then go do some freestyle. Like that might feel like quite terrible. Also, it depends on the ground a lot. Given that I'm new to freestyle and pretty inconsistent, if the ground is uneven or made of different materials, it just makes it a lot harder. So although I'm excited and I'm new and I enjoy doing it, I do have some complaints about it that make freestyle quite difficult without the proper education. If you're looking for the right education on how to do freestyle tricks the right way and safely, we have some videos with Andy Anderson on this channel that you can go watch to learn everything you need to know about setup and the tricks. I'm gonna give rail stands a really strong A tier rating. Even though I have some genuine concerns, I think it is a completely untapped progression for me. And every time I go to the park, I'm having a lot of fun working on my freestyle. For our next adventure, we're gonna do some skirts. Obviously, this isn't really a trick, but it's kind of a skatery trick. Every skater, every skate rat at the park is gonna be able to do this, and they'll do it every once in a while. I pretty much use it to warm up. I try them switch. I like to feel the wheels move on the ground, but mostly I like the noise. If you hear that little skirt, then you're doing good. They're important, they're nice, but overall they're like pretty satisfying. But I wouldn't say it's the greatest trick of all time. So it's gonna have a nice B tier rating. I'm not gonna stop doing them. Every time I show up to the skate park, I'm gonna get those wheels to slide around a little bit, and I feel really comfortable with this right at that B tier slot. Here we have an honorary mention of popping out of a quarter pipe and flinging your board into your hand. It's not really a trick. Unless you can't do it, then it's definitely a trick and you definitely want to learn it. I am thankful for the skill that I can go at pretty much any quarter pipe, any height, anytime, and just fly out of the top and have my board in my hand without really thinking about it. We're gonna throw that right on the list at B tier. Manuals. All right, if I had something higher than S tier, if we had a triple S, I would put manuals there. Manuals are like the fountain of youth in skateboarding. Not only are they S tier for progression, they're S tier because they're fun and you can do them relatively low energy. You can do them safely all around the park. There's really, I can't believe I fell after that. There's really no problems with manuals. When I'm 86 years old with crippled knees and I can barely walk, I'm gonna be, if I can stand on a skateboard, I'm gonna be trying some manuals just so I could feel something. 100%, without a shadow of a doubt, manuals are S tier. Front shoves are my personal best flat ground trick. This is not the opinion of anyone else. This is me saying when I do a front side shove and I do it well, it sticks in my brain. It gets imprinted and I'll remember it forever. I can remember like 4 front shoves randomly throughout my life. I have no idea why. I can even remember like a really specific memory of like Chaz Ortiz at Skate Barn West when I was a little kid, and he did a front shove and it looked a certain way and it just stuck. Because I'm so partial to them, I feel like I can just step on my board, set my feet up and jump as high as I can, and I just do a front shove. All I have to do is aim my back trucks up for my front foot, and then it stomps down like all 4 wheels. I just can't explain how great of a trick this front shoves truly are. Oh, with all that being said, I'm sure you're not gonna be surprised by the rating. It's gonna slide all the way to the top, S tier. Now we'll take a logical step up from front shoves and go to frontside big spins. So you remember all that confidence and all those great feelings that I have about front shoves? Well, now they're gone for front big spins. I don't get them. I just don't get it. They take so much effort, so much energy. I feel like they're always under rotating. And to do a good one, I feel like there's so much stress in just thinking about how I'm gonna even try it that it's distracting from the actual trick. So when we look at this tier list, it naturally is gonna slide down to a D tier trick for me. Backside flips. They're like a big brother to kickflips, where frontside flips are quite different from regular kickflips, at least the way that I do them. So we're looking at backside flips. It's a similar feeling motion and it's a very similar feeling trick, but they're hard to get consistent. And with that comes some frustration. The trick changes a lot based on the speed that you're going or the obstacle you're doing it on. So you have to be so current and strong on your skateboard to have good backside flips. So we'll take that into account, knowing that we rated kick flips and fakie flips at A, half cab flips dropped down to a B. Considering that, I'm gonna put the backside flip down to a C. So I like doing half cab flips more than backside flips because of the consistency and because the approachability of the half cab flip is just a little higher. Let's do some switch flips. Switch flips take so much work to get good at them. You gotta have really nice Ollie practice. You gotta have good foot position, a nice squat. And honestly, a lot of times where I'm practicing switch flips a lot, I end up more confused by the end of the session than I was when I started. My switch flips have come a long way in the last couple of years. But the biggest benefit that I've gotten from grinding switch flips is all the control that comes from just being a better switch skateboarder. I don't necessarily feel like my switch flips have flourished because of it, and it's now my favorite trick. I think it's useful and it's important to practice, but as far as like how fun they are to do, sometimes it gets confusing. Think about it like this. I've been doing regular kick flips for 23 years. I've been working on my switch flips a lot in the last couple of years. And sometimes I'll do a switch flip and it'll flip smoother and better than any of the kick flips that I do that day. But then the next try, it feels like I've never been on a skateboard before. So it just leaves me kind of bewildered a lot of times. Since I feel like the best thing that comes from practicing switch flips is just the overall switch progression, I'm gonna drop this one way down on the list, F tier. Switch backside flips. You know, this one, I feel like the journey is worth the destination. Or how do you say that? The destination is worth the journey. Because when you first try a backside flip, they feel so foreign and impossible. It's like you don't know what's going on. So every step of the way, when you feel any progress at all, you feel it. So when you finally can flip the board and get it to rotate, it feels like you made a huge jump in progression. So they're super fun. For that reason, we're actually gonna take a big step up from the F tier kickflip position, and put the switch backside flips at B tier. Pressure flips. You know, pressure flips are fun, they're useful, they're not too hard. Like, they can be really tricky to figure out, but it seems like one of those tricks that like once you learn it, you can kind of just do them when you want. I want to give a shout out though to this type of skater, like the random kid in the Midwest who skates in his garage all winter, can barely do kick flips or any like classic tricks, but will absolutely whoop you in a game of skate because he has 7 different pressure flips that you've never even heard of or tried. So I'm gonna rate pressure flip itself, the classic pressure inward heel, at a B. But I'm gonna rank that random Midwest skater who's gonna beat you in every game of skate, he gets an S tier rating. Just for existing. Switch backside big spin. I'm not Shane O'Neill, so F tier. Let's do some heel flips. You know, I feel bad for heel flips. They deserve more love. They're an absolutely underrated trick. And I'm guilty of this too. But today is not the day they get more love. C tier. No complies. I feel like when you're watching a skate video, no complies look the most fun. Like when someone has a good one, unlike me, they look like actually they're a lot of fun. And generally I will do 1 or 2 in a session, but not like a serious one. A lot of times I'll do it to just kind of do a systems check to see how the tail pops, see how the ground is feeling, maybe check my switch push. It's more of a systems check and less of a trick to me. Partly because I don't feel that confident in picking up really high. And every time I do, they over rotate and that gets a little bit awkward. So I'm gonna put no complies on the list. Drum roll please, C tier. This trick is anything up a bank. You get going with some speed, and once you start moving up and then do a little pop, you just float into the air. It's like, feels like you're on a roller coaster. And you just go, whee! S tier. And when it comes to doing anything downstairs, I don't like it at all. It hurts my feet. There's a lot of stress on all the tricks because if you don't get it just perfect, I feel like the stakes get pretty high. F tier. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was great to explore all of these tricks and talk about why I like doing them and maybe some issues I have with other tricks. I found the list quite surprising myself when I was stuck in a position where, you know, you're having to rate some tricks against another and making sure the list it fits into place. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I hope you enjoyed watching it just as much. Make sure you like this video and you press subscribe, you share it with a friend. That stuff really helps this channel grow. If you got a lot of use out of it, please take a look in the description and check out our online community. If you click that link, you can join for free right now. Okay, cheers. I'll see you guys soon.